So, out of what I just, in other words, I just kind of scorched the relationship. But is there another process that you would recommend for me to keep my eyes in an advantageous place? Because I have done so well with logic and the rhetoric and paring things down to almost irrefutable conclusions, at least in my mind. And I mean some in the smaller part, is the only thing that keeps me out. And it's shrinking over time. So I can say in general in my life, it's going smaller, and I'm happy with that. But I would like faster.
Well, there's resistance in that. And so we see ourselves, as we want you to see yourself relative to you, as a soother of resistance, And so would you say that you have found someone that you really want to make a long-term partnership with?
I would love that.
And would you say that, do you feel that you are consistently the being, the outputter that you want the other to reflect? In other words, are you ready for the universe to bring that more substantial manifestation?
Almost. I would like to say yes, but I know the truth is almost.
So, in the all rightness of it being almost, there is a fun in closing that gap. So what you're saying to yourself is, I'm in the process of being the point of attraction that I want to rendezvous with another with. I'm in the process of becoming the point of attraction that, in other words, because you could have a relationship today before you leave this room. Today. But the relationship that you're really looking for is the relationship between you and your source, right, before you let that relationship be between you and someone else, you see. Yeah. And when you say almost, it's not that far. In other words, we have found big glimpses of it, you see. So the impatience is about wanting the tangible rather than accepting the loveliness and the bigness of an emotional manifestation. Mm-hmm. In other words, you're feeling pretty good right now because you accomplished ease in this conversation. Mm-hmm. You're not in a place of resistance anymore. So you feel right now exactly as you would feel if you were in what you want to call a very secure, stable relationship with that person. This is exactly what that would feel like. It's exactly what that would feel like. And so you accomplished it you accomplished it unconditionally. You accomplished it vibrationally. You accomplished it without another's input. You see what we're getting at? You accomplished it without the details being necessary for you to observe in order for you to feel that way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you getting this?
No, I got that. Yeah.
It's like you have to find that feeling place, which is what you just accomplished. You found the feeling place. You found the vibrational place. You are in that vibrational frequency. So what you've put in your vortex can flow easily into your experience. Easily. Watch what happens next. Just watch what happens next. And revel in what happens next because of the work that you've done. Take note of it. Think and feel, think and feel, think and feel. Mm-hmm. When Kate was little, she played a game with Jerry and Esther where she would hide a button. They had a big room in a big building. And they would confine their game to this room. And Kate would hide the button. They would go out of the room. She would hide the button. And then she would guide them to find it by saying, you're getting warmer, or you're getting colder. And every time they found the button, because Kate knew where it was, and she gave really good clues. And as Jerry and Esther followed the clues, they always found it. And she took such delight in guiding them to something like that. Well, your emotions are guiding you in that same way. When you feel pensive or insecure, or frustrated or lonely or disappointed, you're getting colder, you're getting colder, you're getting colder. What you want is calling you, but you're standing in resistance to it. And that negative emotion is your indicator that you're standing in resistance to it. Now, if you try to take that subject that you already have got some momentum of resistance going and turn it around in the other direction, instead of it turning around in the other direction, you're just going to dig in with more resistance, because that's the way the law of attraction always works. So the focus wheel is the way that you distract yourself from the details, accomplish the vibration that is at the core of it, and then let law of it, it's like pushing the reset button. Now law of attraction brings you more manifestations. So now where are you at?
In regard to the topic?
In regard to whatever?
Like you said, I feel really at ease. At the moment, I'd say I got about a 1%, ruffle in my craw, so to speak, but I'm not really concerned about that. I feel pretty good about that topic.
And you could, if you wanted to, feel really good about every topic, because we did an unconditional focus wheel, which puts you in alignment about everything. Now, you could take an issue or a problem and focus it back into being, but why? If the goal is to feel this way. If the goal is to solve the problem in order to feel this way, then that would be the approach. But if the goal is to feel this way, then if we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd find the easy way to feel this way, and then the universe will bring about the details that match this feeling. You get that? Best focus wheel discussion we've ever had.
I think it's pretty good. It's been the most helpful one I've ever heard. So when I get to, like right now, I've done a couple of public speakings and things like that.
We can see why. You're engaging and entertaining. And you know what you're talking about.
Thank you. That's very encouraging, and appreciate that. So I'm waiting. I feel like I'm waiting for things to polish up a little bit, but it's really not about like that, because what I'm experiencing whenever I begin to speak is I almost feel like there was this movie called The Never-Ending Story. But anyway, I feel like whenever I begin to talk, there's in a different dimension, a different realm, my eyes begin to glaze over, and I feel, and in my mind somewhere, I'm seeing these little blocks spinning around, and I feel like I'm going somewhere else, and it feels really incredible. And I'm like, is that kind of what was happening to Esther as she was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But what you're describing is also what we were talking about earlier in the first segment. This is turning thoughts to things. Only it's even more rudimentary than that. It's turning vibration to thoughts. So what's happening is you're actually visually aware of these vibrations that you are perceiving. So you're perceiving them visually as well as auditorially.
Right. Is that why the doctors, this is something that, anyway, like to call me schizophrenic, because there's, on a daily basis, honestly, there are things that I see that people just don't see. The last time I was in Atlanta, a different hotel at your workshop, I saw a lady stand up and wave her hand, and I looked over there, and in a fraction, she disappeared. And so some of these things are really interesting because some of these things and people that I see can be very relevant to the people around me, and I'm just kind of confused, because the doctors, and as much as I rail against them and I've rebelled, and I feel most of the time really good about it because it's a non-issue, and but I'm just kind of like, what is that about? Is this the natural? Does this happen to everyone, or do the doctors make me believe I'm the only one who's a little bit off kilter?
Well, it doesn't happen to everyone. Esther is not visual, she's auditory. So Esther receives these blocks of thought at an unconscious level and translates them into this conversation.
So would you say these are signs of alignment?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm
They're definitely signs of alignment. The most important thing to understand, and you help us to make the point that we've been wanting to make all day, is that humans, that's you guys. Esther sings the song, I'm only human. She likes that. She likes to say, and I bleed when you bite me. You don't know the song. She listens to Pulse Radio.
Okay.
So you all often have difficulty getting to the basis of what deliberate creation really is. Deliberate creation is deliberate vibration. but you can't be deliberate about a vibration unless you have some relationship with it, some relativity to it. So the reason that we explain to you the source within you is a dominant vibration, and what you're thinking right now is a vibration, and there is a relationship between those vibrations that equal your emotions, which let you know how in sync or not you are with that broader, expanded, evolved version of you. So, as we've been talking to you for a number of years in this format, giving you all kinds of different ways of relating to the vibrational world that you don't relate to all that well, even now, because you are translating vibration through your eyes, so you see, but you don't know you're doing it. You're translating vibration, that's why you hear. You're translating, that's why you smell and taste and feel with your fingertips. You are a veritable translator of vibration. But you've become so enamored with what has already been created that most of you are not aware in a hands-on way of what you are creating. And in order to do that, you must be in touch with your emotions, because your emotions let you know that relationship with that broader knowing. So through meditation, that's how Esther accomplished it, by consistently putting yourself in a focused place where the normal resistance that you've been dragging along, that you've picked up along your physical trail, is not active in this moment because you're focused upon the sound in the air conditioning, or you're focused upon the flicker of a flame, or you're focused upon the feel or the sound of your breathing. As you focus in these really general terms so that you cease the resistant vibration, you become the vibrational frequency of who you really are and all you really know. And so what you're describing are the beginning manifestations or realizations, glimpses into that vibrational place. And those things that look fragmented and that, as you're describing, they take form. Every form you see happened in that way. Nobody's trucking any stuff in from other planets. In other words, you are creating through the, in many cases, mass consciousness consensus, but you are individually creating beyond that through your vibration. And you're either doing it deliberately by paying attention to how you feel as you think and feel, think and feel, think and feel, or you're doing it by default, just by thinking and not paying any attention to how you're feeling and not exercising any deliberate control in modifying the feeling. Mm-hmm. We had the best experience, and you had the best experience just now with the focus wheel, where you translated vibration because the feeling you were reaching for was active within you. You knew what you were going for. You finally started looking for love in all the right places for a little bit. You see what we're getting at? You used the feeling as your goal.
Right.